Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today's Friday, December 2nd, 2022. Big show today. World Cup, NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, golf, news and notes, and then best bet and the Fab Five. We'll start with the World Cup. We'll go over the group E and F action, and then look ahead to G and H and the start of the knockout round. Morocco over Canada 2-1. Morocco scored right away in the 4th minute. Hakim Ziyech. And then in the 23rd minute, Youssef and Nesrai. And then an own goal by Nayev Augard in the 40th minute put Canada on the board. So Morocco wins that one. Then Croatia and Belgium was a 0-0 draw as Morocco and Croatia advance. Group E, Germany over Costa Rica 4-2 in the wildest game of the tournament thus far. Sergei Gnabry in the 10th minute gives Germany the 1-0 lead. Then Costa Rica ties it. Yeltsin Tahad in the 58th minute. Then they take the lead on an own goal in the 70th minute by Manuel Neuer. And then in the 73rd minute, Kai Havertz ties it. And then Havertz gives him the lead in the 85th minute. And then Nicholas Fulkerg in the 89th minute puts Germany up 4-2. But it wasn't enough to advance as Japan upsets Spain 2-1. Spain goes up 1-0 on a goal by Alvaro Morata in the 11th minute. And then second half, Japan comes through again. 48th minute, Ritsu Doan. And in the 51st minute, Ayo Tanaka. So, what a win for Japan. They win the group. And then Spain comes in second. Germany just wasn't enough to advance. So, what a disappointment for them. Alrighty, so 10 o'clock. We have Group H. 10 o'clock on Fox, South Korea and Portugal. Should be a great game. So, where things stand right now, Portugal's in the lead with 6 points in Group H. And then Ghana's in second with 3. And then South Korea and Uruguay are at the bottom, each with 1. Portugal's minus 130. South Korea's plus 340. Draw plus 280. Portugal's been on fire. They're a really good team. I'm going over 2.5 goals at minus 106 in that one. And I think they win. Ghana and Uruguay on Fox Sports 1. Ghana needs to win to advance. But if they lose to Uruguay could be in, which is insane. But there's also a world where this could be a draw and Korea upsets Portland and Korea could be in. So, that's another scenario that's on the table, but not realistic. Uruguay's a minus 125 favorite. Ghana's plus 340, draw plus 270. Ghana's been a pleasant surprise in the World Cup so far. But I just think Uruguay is better. Pressure's on them to win and come through here. To advance here. So if they would win and then Korea would have to lose. But Uruguay would have to outscore Korea too if that scenario was on the table. But they need help from Portugal too, Uruguay. But Ghana reminds me of Japan in the sense of they're just very, intense team. They win these types of games. So, in terms of the table in this group, Uruguay, Korea drew. Portugal beat Ghana, and they beat Uruguay. And then Ghana beat Korea. So that's how this is shaped out in this group so far. But for my pick here, I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at plus 102. I think that Uruguay gets through. There won't be anything crazy like we saw yesterday. So that's Group H. Group G, 2 o'clock on Fox, we have Cameroon and Brazil. Oh, my God. Brazil's minus 270, Cameroon 750, draw plus 390. I'm going over 2.5 goals, minus 110. Brazil, it'd be a crying shame. Or, that's my mistake. We'll go over 3.5 goals, plus 196. We'll get a little greedy here with the pick, but it'd be a shame if Brazil lost this game. But Brazil's in good shape. We'll get to the group in the second. And Fox Sports won Serbia and Switzerland. Serbia's plus 155, Switzerland's plus 170, draw plus 230. This is the more interesting game of the two in Group G. Obviously, Brazil's won both their matches. The draw was between Serbia and Cameroon. Brazil beat Serbia, and Switzerland beat Cameroon. So that's how this has played out so far. So if Switzerland wins 4-0, and Brazil gets shut out by Cameroon, then Switzerland can win the group, but that's really unlikely. If Serbia wins, they're in the knockout round. And then Cameroon's not out of it either, so which is crazy. But for the pick, I'm going to go with the draw at plus 230. That's too hard of a call. And then Brazil and Switzerland advance. Serbia goes home. That would be my guess on how that group shakes out. All right, round of 16, Saturday, December 3rd, 10 o'clock on Fox. Group A winner, Netherlands, and Group B runner-up, the United States. This is going to be a great game. The Netherlands are minus 240. The U.S. is plus 192. I just think the Dutch are better. They should win against the U.S. But I think one goal can decide this. I'm going to say it's 1-0 Dutch. I'm going to go under 1.5 goals at plus 192. And the Dutch score a late one to break the hearts of everybody in our country. And at 2 o'clock on Fox, you have Group C winner Argentina and the Group D runner-up Australia. I think it's a miracle that Australia's made it this far. They're a plus 1180 underdog, and Argentina is 20-1 favorite. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 106. I just think this is a defensive, low-scoring game. And then Sunday, 10 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, France and Poland, round of 16. France, your winner of Group D. Poland, your Group C runner-up. France is a 12-1 favorite. Poland's a plus 760 dog. I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at minus 116. I just think the French are better than Poland. So I expect them to advance. And then 2 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, England and Senegal. Obviously, your Group B winner against your Group A runner-up. England's minus 40, Senegal's plus 340. For this, I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at plus 120. I think the English men can score a lot. And Senegal, I think it scored a little bit too, so I'm going to go over with that pick. Over 2.5, I think the number is plus 130. All right, now I'll move on to the NFL. We'll go over last night's game and look ahead to the rest of the weekend. I was wrong about last night as the Bills came out on top 24-10. Easy win for them in Foxborough. They're 9-3, New England 6-6. Josh Allen 22-23, 223 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mac Jones 22-3, 695 yards and the touchdown. All right, Sunday's games. At 1 o'clock on Fox, or this one might actually be on CBS. CBS, Steelers-Falcons. Should be an interesting game. The Steelers are actually favored by 1.5 totals, 42.5. I have Atlanta 2.5 total, 44 and a fifth. So the pick here is going to be Atlanta getting the 1.5. And they're only -1. So the money line's a pick 'em. But the Steelers are favored from a spread standpoint. So I'll go Atlanta plus 1.5. And -108 the win. On Fox, Packers, Bears. So we don't know if Justin Fields is going to play or not. So that is the big question for this game. He's probable, so I have Chicago projected as a 2-point favorite, total of 44.75, and Green Bay is favored by 3.5, total of 44.5. Give me the Bears getting the 3.5 and plus 152 to win. Jaguars, Lions on Fox. The Lions are giving one totals 51.5. Tough one. I'm going to take the under. I have 3 and 48.25. On CBS, Jets, Vikings. My line's Vikings 11 total, 42 and 19/20. And it is only 3 and 44.5. Giving the Vikes -3. Jets are a little bit banged up. On Fox, Commanders, Giants. This has Kenny Albert written all over. I don't think the Giants have had Kenny Albert all year. But this might actually be Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen. But in any other year, this is Kenny Albert's game. But I think it's going to be the Olsen and Burkhardt. Giants are a 1.5 point underdog. Total is 40. I have 3.5 and 40 and 7/20. So I'm going to take the Giants plus 1.5 and plus 108 to win. Titans, Eagles from Philly on Fox. Eagles are giving 4.5 totals, 44.5. I have 9.5 and 42 and 17 or in 7/20. I'm going to lay it with Philly. CBS, you have the Broncos and the Ravens. Oh my God. The Ravens are favored by 8.5 total, 39.5. I have 14 and 38.75. I'm going to lay to 8.5 with the Ravens. And probably the most interesting game of the 1 o'clock window for one reason only, and that is the Browns and the Texans. The return of Deshaun Watson after his suspension against his former team in his former home arena. The Browns are favored by 7 totals, 46.5, 5 and 44 and 13/20. I'm going to take Houston getting the 7 at home. 4 o'clock on Fox, we have the Seahawks and the Rams. The Rams are a 7.5 point home underdog, total 49.5. I have 10 and 45 and 3/5. I'm going to take the over. I think Seattle's offense is going to continue to play well, and their defense is so bad. Dolphins, 49ers, probably the second best game on the board in my opinion. Niners are favored by 3.5 total, 46.5. I have 1/2 and 43 and 3/5. Giving the Dolphins getting the 3.5. I think they're going to win too. They're plus 172. Game of the day, 4:25, CBS, Chiefs Bengals, Jim Nance, Tony Romo on the call. Chiefs were giving 2.5 totals, 52.5. I have Pick'em in 49 and 3/10. I'm going to pick the under. I don't feel strong about it because of the nature of these two teams' offenses, but I'm going to pick a contrarian under in this game as the pick. Chargers, Raiders. Raiders are a 1-point favorite, total 50.5. I have Raiders by 1, total 48. And 17/20. I'm going to take a slight under. And Sunday Night Football, 8:20 on NBC of the Colts and the Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 10.5, total 43.5. I have 11.5 and 39.25. I'm going to take the under. The Colts are always in low-scoring games. The Cowboys' defense is really good, so I like the under a lot. All right, college football. Championship weekend. We're going to find out on Sunday who will be in the college football playoff. So we're going to start with FBS. At 1 o'clock Eastern today, we have a makeup game between Akron and Buffalo, which got postponed due to the bad snow in Buffalo. I project Buffalo by 9, total 56 and 13/20. And it is 11.5 and 55.5. I'm going to take Akron getting the points. 7:30 on CBS Sports Network, North Texas, UTSA, the Conference USA Championship game from UTSA's home stadium. I project UTSA by 12, total 64.5. I have 8.5 and 69.5. Under. I think that's a high total. And I think there's going to be some stops in this game and some nerves, so I like the under. 8 o'clock on Fox, Pac-12 title game. Number 11, Utah. Number 4, USC. SC with a lot on the line. The biggest game this program has had probably since their last national championship game they were in. And this game is being played at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. My line is SC by 6, total 64.25, and I have 2.5 and 66.5. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with USC. They know what's at stake, and what's also in play here is a Heisman Trophy for Caleb Williams, so I'm going to lay the 2.5 for USC. Saturday, 12 o'clock on ABC, you have number 10 Kansas State, number 3 TCU, the Big 12 championship game from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. My number is TCU by 9, total 59 and 3/10, and it's 2.5 and 61.5. I'm laying it with TCU. They're much better than Kansas State. They've proven us time and time again that they are for real and not to be doubted. So I'm going to lay the points with TCU. ESPN, the MAC Championship, Toledo and Ohio from Ford Field. My projections, Ohio by 6, total 61 and 17/20, and it's Toledo by 3, total 54.5. I think the wrong team is favored here. So give me Ohio plus the 3 and plus 128 to win the game on the field, to win the MAC title. A makeup game for an independent school, Valparaiso and New Mexico State. My projections for this game is New Mexico State by 23, total 49 and 3/5. Next, we have the Sun Belt Championship game, 3:30 ESPN, Coastal Carolina and Troy. Troy is giving 8.5, total 48.5. I project 4.5 and 49.75, so I'm going to take Coastal Carolina getting the points. On CBS at 4 o'clock, number 14 LSU, number 1 Georgia, the SEC title game. Georgia's favored by 17.5, total 51.5. I'm taking LSU getting the points to hang around. I project 9 and 51 and 4/5. ABC, the American title game. Number 22, UCF. Number 18, Tulane. At Tulane Stadium. My projection Tulane by 6, total 55 and a fifth, and it is 3.5 and 56.5. I'm going to lay the 3.5 with Tulane. On Fox, the Mountain West Championship game, Fresno State and Boise State. Mine's Boise by 6, total 49 and 17/20, and it's 3.5 and 54.5. The question is, where do I go? I'm going to go with the under. Everyone's darlings, Fresno. Everyone's like, oh, they would have won this conference going away. They would have been undefeated if their quarterback wasn't hurt. They would have won 11-1, blah, 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 blah. I think this team's overrated, honestly. But anyway, my pick for here is the under. I think Boise wins. 8 o'clock on Fox, the Big Ten Championship game. Purdue at number 2, Michigan. Michigan's giving me 16.5, total 51.5. I project 12 and 51 in the 10th. Or 52 in the 10th. I'm taking Purdue getting the points to hang around. And on ABC at 8 o'clock, number 9, Clemson. Number 23, North Carolina. Clemson favored by 7.5, total 63.5. Giving North Carolina getting the 7.5. I project 3 and 61 and 3/10. And now I want to do Saturday's second round FCS games. The lines are up, so I'm excited to do this. All right, 12 o'clock, you have New Hampshire and Holy Cross. I project Holy Cross by 10.5, total 58 and 7/10, and 7.5 and 59.5. I'm going to lay to 7.5 with Holy Cross. 2 o'clock, Furman and Incarnate Word. I projected Incarnate Word by 7.5, total 61 and 3/5. It's 8.5 and 63.5. Slight under. Gardner Webb and William and Mary. My line's William and Mary, 13.5, total 57.5, and it's 8.5 and 61.5. I'm going to lay the 8.5 at William and Mary. Delaware, South Dakota State at 3 o'clock. Mine's South Dakota State by 10.5, total 46 and 13/20, and it's 18.5 and 46.5. First, I'm going to take a dog, the cover in the FCS so far of doing this little segment of picks. I'm going to take Delaware to cover the 18.5. Weber State, Montana State. My line's Montana State by 4.5, total 63 and 4/5. And it's 3.5 and 64.5. Oh my God, so close. Slight Montana State. Southeast Louisiana, Samford. My line is Samford 7.5, total 58 and 3/20. And it's 6.5 and 63.5. I'm going to take the under. Montana, North Dakota State at 3:30. My line's North Dakota State by 7.5, total 54 in the 10th. And it's 6.5 and 50.5. I'm going to take the over. 4 o'clock on ESPN2, Southern and Jackson State. It's a SWAC championship game. My projection is Jackson State by 15, total 49 and 9/10, and it's 19.5 and 50.5. I'm going to take Southern getting all those points. Jackson State's really good. But there might be some distractions because Deion's obviously going to leave for a Power 5 school or a Group of 5 school. So I'm going to take the underdog getting the points. And 5 o'clock, Richmond and Sacramento State. I project Stack State 10.5, total 56 and 3/5, and it is 16.5 and 56.5. I'm going to take Richmond getting all the points. That is way too many points. So, should be a fun weekend in college football, and I want to give the FCS some love. Now we'll do college basketball. We'll look at last night's slate and look ahead to tonight and the rest of the weekend. So it's going to be very interesting. All right, so Thursday results. Number 8, UConn over Oklahoma State, 74-64. Number 2, Texas over number 7, Creighton, 72-67. Bradford over NC Central, 80-78. Cornell over Delaware, 74-67. Wofford over Presbyterian, 76-63. Vermont over NVU Linden, 101-63. Georgia State over Mid-Georgia State, 79-53. Mount St. Mary's over St. Peter's, 73-58. Manhattan over Fairfield, 56-53. Northern Kentucky over Youngstown State, 77-73. Double overtime. Robert Morris over Wright State, 80-59. Cleveland State over Oakland, 80-64. Detroit over Purdue Fort Wayne, 75-66. Bethune over Chicago State, 86-73. Murray State over Illinois State, 70-67 in overtime. Belmont over Valparaiso, 76-64. Denver over Houston Christian, 93-83. Arkansas State over Miss Valley State, 58-38. Milwaukee over Green Bay, 81-67. Utah over number 4 Arizona, 81-66. Texas State over Lamar, 65-55. Arizona State over Colorado, 60-59. So best bet was a winner. Number 9 Kansas over Seton Hall, 90-65 or 91-65. Northwestern State over Stephen F. Austin, 102-96. Pacific over UC Davis, 74-72. Utah State over Utah Tech, 86-81. Oregon State over Washington, 66-65. Number 21 UCLA over Stanford, 86-6. And Oregon over Washington State, 74-60. All right, tonight's window small. 6 o'clock, Brown Bryant. My line is Bryant, 11.5. And it is 10.5. Total's 156.5. That's high. I'm taking the under. 7 o'clock, Southern Louisiana Tech. My line is Tech by 13.25. And it's 9.5. I'll lay the points. BU Merrimack. My line is BU by 1. And it is BU 4.5. I'm taking Merrimack getting the points. Campbell, East Carolina, my line's ECU by 4.5. That's what it is. Total's 133.5. I'll take the over. Kennesaw State, Mercer. My line is Mercer 3.5. And it is 4.5. Total's 138.5. I'll take the over. Eastern Kentucky, James Madison. My line's James Madison 11.5. And it's 13.5. I'll take Eastern Kentucky getting the points. South Dakota State, Kent State. My line's Kent by 12, and it's 6.5. I'll lay the points. Charleston Southern and South Florida. My line's South Florida, 8.5. And it's 10.5. Give me Charleston Southern getting the points. Wake Clemson. Big conference game. My line's Clemson by 5. And it's 2.5. I'm going to lay the points with Clemson. ACC Network, Pitt, NC State. My line's NC State by 13. It's 10.5. I'll lay the points. Towson, Long Island. My line is Towson by 20. And Towson's giving 19.5. Totals 136.5. I'll take the under. UMass Harvard. My line is UMass 7.75. And it's only 1.5. I'm laying it with UMass. Canisius, Siena. My line is Siena 9.5. And it's 7.5. I'm going to lay the points. Niagara, Iona. My line's Iona by 13. And it is 13.5. Total is 129.5. I'll take the over. App State, Charlotte. My line's Charlotte 7.75. It's 6.5 and 122.5. I'll take the over. That's a low total. Maryland Eastern Shore and Liberty. My line's Liberty 19.5. And it is 16.5. I'll lay the points. Florida A&M at Georgia. My line is Georgia 21.75. It's 24.5. Give me Florida A&M getting the point. Northeastern and Georgia Tech at 7:30. My line is Tech by 10.5. And it is 11.5. Total is 130.5. I'll take the over. Best game of the night, 8 o'clock on Peacock. Number 6, Baylor. Number 14, Gonzaga. My line is Baylor by 1. It's Gonzaga by 2.5. Give me Baylor plus a 2.5 and plus 112 to win. Colgate at number 15, Auburn. My line's Auburn by 20, and it's 13.5. I'll lay the points. Texas Arlington, LSU. My line is LSU by 23. And it's 18.5. I'll lay the points. Here's another good one, probably the second best game of the night. 9 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. Number 16, Illinois. Number 22, Maryland. prove it spot for Maryland, in my opinion. My line's Illinois by 2, and Maryland's a 1.5 point favorite. That's ridiculous. Give it Illinois plus the 1.5 and minus 105 to win. Maybe somebody's injured. Who knows? Northern Illinois and Idaho. My line's Northern by 0.5, and it's 1.5. Total's 144.5. I'll take the over. The last 2 games on the board are Occidental, number 24, San Diego State, and Bethesda, UC San Diego. We can skip those. Big day on Saturday. 12 o'clock, St. Fran, PA, number 25, Ohio State, Chattanooga, Gardner-Webb, Syracuse, Notre Dame on ESPN2, SC State, Furman, South Carolina, Georgetown on Fox Sports 1, CBS, Oklahoma, Villanova. Is that at Phillies? Yes, that's at Wells Fargo. 1 o'clock, ESPN3, Indiana State, Miami, Ohio, Charleston, Citadel, Wagner, Army, VCU, Temple, Fordham, Tulane, Fairleigh Dickinson, St. Joe's, Navy, VMI, 2 o'clock, ESPN2, Florida State at number 3, Virginia, Morgan State, Bowling Green, Miss Valley State, Mississippi State, North Alabama, Morehead State, Princeton, Drexel, Davidson, Delaware, North Florida, High Point, Bucknell, and JIT, Evansville, Northern Iowa, UMBC, Lehigh, UMass Lowell, Sacred Heart, Coastal Carolina, Winthrop, UT Martin, UNC Asheville, Toledo, George Mason, Ball State, Duquesne, Southeast Louisiana, Dayton, LaSalle, Penn, Bakersfield, Dartmouth, Fox Sports 1, Tennessee Tech, Butler, 2:30, St. Bonaventure, Buffalo, 3 o'clock, Arlington Baptist, Abilene Christian, Dallas Christian, Sam Houston, Wiley, Tarleton, Arkansas Baptist, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Troy, SIU, Edwardsville, Oral Roberts, Tulsa, Longwood, Delaware State, Maryville, Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, Jackson State, FIU, Payne, Queens, Detroit, Cleveland State, Oakland, Purdue, Fort Wayne, 3:30, St. Andrews, NC Central, Champion Christian, Neil Monroe, Texas, Rio Grande, Western Illinois, South Dakota, BYU, 4 o'clock, Big Ten Network, number 10, Indiana at Rutgers, SEC Network, San Jose State at number 11, Arkansas, ACC Network, BC, number 17, Duke, Trinity Baptist, Jacksonville, Tennessee State, Austin P, New Hampshire, Columbia, Stonehill, Binghamton, UNC, Greensboro, Alon, Grand Canyon, Wyoming, Long Beach State, Utah Valley, Southern Illinois, St. Louis, Air Force, Portland State, Northern New Mexico, UTEP, Ryder, Mount St. Mary, Jacksonville State, East Tennessee State, DePaul, Loyola, Chicago, 4:30, Alma College, Central Michigan, Northern Colorado, Colorado State, Fox Sports 1, Wisconsin, Marquette, 5 o'clock, Sac State, Santa Clara, Ohio, Marshall, Howard, Hampton, Coppin State, Loyola, Maryland, Louisiana, New Orleans, Incarnate Grambling, North Dakota State, Eastern Washington, Pacific, UC Santa Barbara, ESPNU, Providence, Rhode Island, Wofford, Vandy, 5:30, SC Upstate, Western Carolina, 6 o'clock, UIC, Drake, Omaha, North Texas, Central Connecticut, Holy Cross, Robert Morris, North Kentucky, Yale, Stony Brook at 6:30. And on Fox Sports 1, here's a good one, West Virginia, Xavier. If West Virginia wins that game, they're going to be ranked. 7 o'clock, Blackburn, Eastern Illinois, Richmond, William and Mary, St. Peter's, Fairfield, Norfolk State, Old Dominion, Boise, A&M, Texas A&M on ESPNU. 7:30 ESPN2, Ole Miss, Memphis. 8 o'clock, Crown College, St. Thomas, Minnesota. Bradley, Missouri State. Lindenwood, Kansas City. Southern Utah, Idaho State. Northern Arizona, Pepperdine. North Dakota, Portland. IUPUI, Milwaukee. 8:30 South Dakota State at number 11, Alabama. 9 o'clock, Cal Baptist, Cal Poly. Utah Tech, Weber State. Fresno, UC Irvine. ESPNU. Wichita State, Kansas State. New Mexico State canceled. 9:30 ESPN2, St. Mary's at number 1, Houston. That's a big game for Houston. Those 2 games are going to be played at Dickies Arena. 10 o'clock, UNLV, San Diego, and Nevada, Loyola, Marymount. Sunday's a little bit of a smaller slate. 10:30 ESPNU, Maine, Marist from the O2 Arena in England. 12 o'clock, Bryant, Cincinnati. 1 o'clock on ABC. Michigan at number 19, Kentucky, also from London. Lafayette, Cornell, Miami, Louisville, in the ACC Network. Canisius, Iona, Youngstown State, Wright State. Muskingum College, Akron at 2. Sarah Lawrence, Columbia, Murray State, Valpo, Belmont, Illinois State, Vermont, Merrimack, Georgia State, Northeastern, Sanford, UCF, George Washington, Radford, Tufts, Harvard, Brown, Hartford. ESPNU, South Alabama, UAB. Monmouth, Manhattan, Stetson, Florida. 2:30 FAU, Eastern Michigan. 3 o'clock on the ACC Network. Number 18, North Carolina at Virginia Tech. Ooh, that's a dozy. ESPN2, St. John's, number 23, Iowa State. Southern Illinois, Southern Indiana, Chicago State, Southwest Adventist, Houston Christian, Rice, Texas State, Colorado, Washington on the Pac-12 Network, 4 o'clock, A&M Commerce, Denver, Niagara, Quinnipiac, Alice Lloyd, Bellarmine, ESPNU, Utah, and Washington State, SEC Network, Southeast Missouri, and Missouri, Fox Sports 1 and 4:30, Nebraska, number 7, Creighton, Southern Miss, Northwestern State, Pac-12 Network at 5 o'clock, Cal at number 4, Arizona, Big Ten Network, Minnesota at number 5, Purdue, ESPN, Oregon at number 21, UCLA, Whittier and Cal State, Northridge, 6, Alcorn State at number 13, Tennessee, FIU and Gulf Coast, 7 o'clock, Big Ten Network, Northwestern, number 20, Michigan State, Pac-12 Network, Oregon State, USC, ESPN2, Stanford, Arizona State, and 8:30, Utah State and San Francisco. All right, now I'll move on to the NBA. We'll recap the game from yesterday, I should say, and look ahead to the games being played tonight and over the weekend. I'm just glad I got college basketball quick. That's because we don't have any big crazy days other than Saturday. Pistons over the Mavs, 131-125 in overtime. The Pistons improved to 6-18. Dallas is under 500 now at 10-11. All right, Friday, 7 o'clock, you have the Wizards and the Hornets. The Hornets are 3-point home underdogs, totals to 24. I project the Wiz by 7.25. I'm going to lay the 3 at the Wiz. 7:30 Nuggets Hawks. I project Nuggets by a half, and it is 2.5. Give me the Hawks getting the points. Heat Celtics again. Celtics are 7.5 point favorites. I have it 8.75. Totals 26. I'll take the under. Raptors Nets. I project a pick'em, and Brooklyn is giving 1.5. Totals to 23.5. I'll take the over. Magic Cavs. My line's Cavs 13.5, and it is 10.5. I'll lay the points. ESPN Lakers Bucks. The return of Chris Middleton. I project Bucks by 9. It's 8.5 and 230.5. I'll take the over. 8 o'clock, Sixers Grizzlies. My number's Memphis by 5.75, and it is 5. Totals to 17.5. That's low. I'll take the over. Pelicans Spurs. My line's Pelicans 7.5, and it's 7. Totals to 32. I'll take the over 2. Rockets Suns at 9. My line is Suns by 9.5, and it is 12. I'm going to take the Rockets getting the points because of the injuries. Pacers Jazz. My line's Jazz by 1.75, and it's 4. Give me Indiana getting the points. I'm excited. I'm actually taking Indiana here. And I think they're going to be the underdog that wins. They're plus 148. And maybe the Raptors too. And then the Bulls and the Warriors at 10 o'clock on ESPN. My line is Golden State by 10.25, and it's only 7.5. I'm going to lay a 7.5 with Golden State. Alrighty, the weekend. Saturday, 12:30 Mavs Knicks, 4 o'clock Kings Clippers, 6 o'clock Bucks Hornets, 8 o'clock Magic Raptors, Thunder Timberwolves, 8:30 Rockets Warriors, and 9 o'clock the Blazers at the Jazz. Sunday, 3:30 Nuggets Pelicans, 4 o'clock Suns Spurs, 6 o'clock Cavs Knicks, Celtics Nets, Grizzlies Pistons, Lakers Wizards, Bulls Kings, and 9 o'clock NBA TV of the Pacers at the Blazers. All right, now I'll move on to the NHL. We'll look back on yesterday's results and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. Avs over the Sabres 6-4. Preds over the Devils 4-3 in overtime on a game winner by Ryan Johansson. Lightning over the Flyers 4-1. Penguins over the Golden Knights 4-3. Wild over the Canes 5-3. Hurricanes over the Blues 6-4. I said the Wilds over the Oilers. I think I said Wild over the Canes by accident. Stars over the Ducks 5-0. Canadians over the Flames 2-1. The Kraken over the Caps 3-2 in OT on a game winner by Jaden Schwartz. Or no, it's Matty Beniers, my bad. And then Panthers over the Canucks 5-1. The Kings over the Coyotes 5-3. 3 games tonight, 7 o'clock from the Garden. Sens Rangers. Another must game for the Rangers, in my opinion. I gave out them in regulation on Wednesday night. That was a winner. They're a minus 188 home favorite. Ottawa's plus 155 over under 6. Overs minus 124. Unders plus 102. Ottawa plus 1.5 is minus 168. Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 136. The Rangers, despite their slide, are a team that gets off the fast starts. They just blow leads. Like, they blew the lead against the Devils. They blew the lead against the Islanders. They blew the big lead against the Oilers. So, Rangers' first period is going to be the pick. Plus 138. 7:30, Preds Islanders. Isles minus 160, Preds plus 132, over under 5.5, overs minus 128, unders plus 104. Preds plus 1.5 is minus 192, Isles minus 1.5 is plus 134. Preds on the second of a back-to-back after coming back to beat the Devils last night. I like the under 5.5 at plus 104. And 8 o'clock, you have the Blues and the Jets. Jets minus 235, Blue Jackets plus 190, over under 6. Overs minus 128, unders plus 104. Jackets plus 1.5 is minus 134, Jets minus 1.5 is plus 110. I'm going to go first period result, Jets plus 122. Big day Saturday in hockey. 2 o'clock, Ducks Wild. 7 o'clock, Avs Bruins. Golden Knights Red Wings. Canadiens Oilers. Sharks Sens. Devils Flyers. Blues Penguins. Leafs Lightning. 7:30, Blackhawks Rangers. So doubleheader at the Garden on Saturday when both teams, I think, kind of have to win their respective games. 10 o'clock, Caps, Flames, Panthers, Kraken, Coyotes, Canucks, and the Hurricanes and the Kings at 10:30. So a doubleheader at Crypto, too, on Saturday. Sunday, 3 o'clock, Wild Stars on the NHL Network. Ducks, Jets, 6 o'clock, Red Wings, Blue Jackets, 7 o'clock, Sharks, Sabres, 7:30 NHL Network, the Blackhawks at the Islanders. All right, now we'll move on to golf. We will go over the current leaderboard for the Hero World Challenge. Tied for first right now with 3 under, Tony Kim, Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland, and Seb Straka. I meant to say Tom Kim. 5th with 2 under, Sam Bird. Tied for 6th with 1 over, Cam Young, Tommy Fleetwood, and Max Homa. Tied for 9th at even, Tony Finau, Justin Thomas, Xander Schauffele, Scotty Scheffler. Tied for 13th with 1 over, Brett Horschel, John Rahm. Tied for 15th with 2 over, Matt Fitzpatrick, Kevin Kisner, Sungjae Im, and Shane Lowry. 19th with 3 over, Corey Connors, and 20th with 4 over is Jordan Spieth. Alrighty. News and notes. It's going to be an interesting news and notes. We will start with football. College, bad news for Michigan. Blake Corum out for the season as he'll undergo knee surgery, miss the remainder of the year. Brutal news for Michigan. Corum is a big part of their offense. I think he's going to be missed against Purdue, and he'll be missed in, assuming they advance past Purdue into the college football playoff, he'll be missed in that matchup as well. So I'm going to change my projection real quick to Michigan by 11 rather than 12 because of no quorum. That has to factor in to the line. Von Miller placed on injury reserve with the knee injury. He'll miss the next 4 games for the Bills. So soccer, there was an awkward player of the match moment after an elimination game. Kai Havertz, very awkward pitcher because they lost the game. Zimmerman of U.S. men's national team almost guarantees his team will move on to the World Cup quarterfinals as he says, Dutch, no problem. Oof. Baseball. Rockies GM Bill Schmidt says the team is optimistic about Chris Bryant being healthy at spring training. He better. You paid big to get him, and he was not only hurt last year, but he was bad. And one more football thing. Patrick Peterson says he texted Kyler Murray and wants to help grow as a player, but has not received a response, as he says no beef with Kyler. It's got to turn into a beef. Aaron Judge could make his free agent decision within the week, and the Yankees and the Giants have 50-50 odds to sign him. And then an executive questions the Judge to San Francisco rumor. He's going to leave the greatest market to a team where it's hard to hit homers. That's why I do not think he should sign with San Francisco. He isn't going to put up the same production as he has been with the Yankees. If you ask me, I think he goes back to the Yankees. I think it's 60-40. I think the Curry factor was real in his recruiting. And I mean Stephen Curry. And New York has 0 athletes that match Stephen Curry in terms of championships and success. But maybe Judge wants to come back to the Yanks and try to end their drought and be the best athlete in New York. Verlander could go to the Dodgers, as executives believe if he doesn't go back to the Astros, that he'll probably sign with the Dodgers. The Mets believe that Jacob deGrom will return and doesn't want to go elsewhere. That's wild. I think that's wishful thinking. But I could be wrong. I mean, a lot of Met people said that they think deGrom's going to stay, but oh my God. I don't think deGrom wants to go back to New York. Zach Eflin signs with the Rays, 3 years, $40 million. After 7 years with the Phils, I think Eflin will be a good fit on the Rays. I think he'll improve being on that team. The Lakers are weighing trade options as they're leaning towards packaging Patrick Beverley and Nunn to help bolster their roster. TJ Warren is making his Nets debut tonight for the first time since having the foot surgery. And John Collins out 2 weeks with a sprained ankle. Not great for the Atlanta Hawks. All right, best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. It's going to be an interesting selection here for best bet. I'm going to lay a half unit on a college basketball line that I think is a little ridiculous. And that line is maybe it wasn't college football or college basketball. Maybe it was college football. You know what? I think it was college football. Actually, no, I'm going to save that for the Fab Five. And yes, tonight's a game that's being played tonight will be included in Fab Five because of the nature of the game. But yeah, this is a tricky spot for best bet. And soccer's underway already. Why not do a World Cup best bet? For sure. But that's already, like I said, that's underway already. But you know what? I'll just go to NBA. I'm going to lay the 7.5 of Golden State against the Bulls. No Lonzo still. I think the Golden State's better than the Bulls. Curry's going to go off. They're home. They blow everybody out at home. They blew the Knicks out at home in an ESPN game on a Friday night a few weeks ago. I think it's going to be something similar with the Chicago Bulls. So I'm going to lay the 7.5 with the Warriors against the Bulls. It's going to be go big or go home, half unit per pick. I'm going to start in college football. Not going to do FCS for Fab 5. I'm just going to do FBS. Pick number 1 is going to be USC minus the 2.5 against Utah. They're better than Utah. Revenge spot. Caleb Williams, Heisman on the line. College football playoff spot on the line. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with USC against Utah for pick number 1. Pick number 2, I'm laying the 2.5 with TCU over Kansas State. TCU's better than Kansas State. They beat them once. They're going to beat them again. I'm going to lay it with TCU. Pick number 3, I am going to take the I'm debating on LSU, but Georgia just blows everybody out, so I'm going to stay away. This is so tough. I'm going to take Ohio getting the 3 against Toledo. I just think Ohio is going to win this game. So give me Ohio getting the points. Next pick, I'm going to take the under 54.5 in Fresno against Boise. Boise plays good defense. I think Fresno's a little bit overrated. So I'm going to take the under 54.5 in Fresno, Boise. And the last pick, I'm taking Carolina getting the 7.5 in Charlotte against Clemson. I usually don't pick against Clemson on the podcast a lot, but I'm doing it here. I think North Carolina's poised to give them a game, so I'm taking them getting the 7.5 against Clemson. And then the underdog pick of the week in college football, I'm going to double down. And I'm going to take Ohio plus 128 to knock off Toledo. The NFL Fab 5, a little bit trickier. Pick number 1, I'm going to lay 3 with Minnesota against the Jets. The Minnesota Vikings have been my baby this season, and they've been successful to me. They did me good on Thanksgiving, even though I did not have them in the Fab 5 that week. The Dallas game was just moronic. They're just bad in that game. They've moved on. They're better than the Jets. I'm going to lay the 3 with Minnesota. Pick number 2, I'm going to lay 8.5 with the Ravens against Denver. I think Denver's just a team that's quit on the season and wants to tank. They're going to fire their coach. Pick number 3, I'm laying 4.5 with the Eagles against the Titans. The Eagles at home are just so fun to bet on. They always beat teams that are inferior, other than Washington for some reason on that Monday night. So I'm going to lay the 4.5 with Philly against Tennessee. Pick number 4, I'm going to take the Dolphins getting the 3.5 in San Francisco against the Niners. This is a big spot for Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins. I love watching the Dolphins. There's going to be some Dolphin fans in the building. This is not a night game. This is a day game. I know the Dolphins haven't had a bad game in a while, but I think that they want to prove to people that they're for real. Worst case scenario, they lose by 3, and I still win the bet. So I'm going to take the Dolphins getting the points against Miami. And the last pick of the Fab 5, I'm going to take the under 43.5 in Colts Cowboys. Talked about it earlier. The Cowboys defense is so good, and the Indy offense is so bad. It's just as simple as logic as that. So I'm going under in Colts Cowboys. Underdog pick of the week. Your nominees, the Bengals plus 112 against the Chiefs. The Dolphins plus 172 against the Niners. The Bears plus 152 against the Packers. The Giants plus 108 against the Commanders. The Falcons minus 108 against the Steelers. But with a lot of thought into this, I'm going to go with the Dolphins at plus 172 to knock off the Niners. I'm going to double down with it. I'm staying away from Bears-Packers because of the unknown of the health of Justin Fields, and Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. Despite how bad they are, he still owns the Bears, so I'm purposely staying away from that game. So I'm going to double down on the Miami Dolphins, plus 172 to upset Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers. All right, so there you have it for the podcast. I'll be back on Monday recapping the weekend it will be, and we'll get everything going on Monday, including Monday Night Football between the Saints and the Bucs. Hope you guys have a great weekend, everyone.